Saturday, February 12th. There are 4 days until the arrival in Shanghai. Reginald, as you sleep, you feel something stir in your bed. You feel itchy. Your head itches.
Uh-oh.
As you awake, you see a figure standing at the side of your bed. You can't tell who it is as it's too dark to see, but the silhouette is writhing. It leans closer and it says, "Give it back." There's a knock at the door. You startle awake. No strange man writhing near your bed, no longer itchy. Everyone in the room begins to wake up slowly, and the knocking happens again. Everybody roll a listen check. So, Reginald, you don't seem to hear anything besides the knocking on the door, but Chase and Chris, you both hear what sounds like some sort of music.
Making my way downtown, Roman.
Like, as far as you can tell, the ship prior to this day, and you've been on this ship for, I want to say 6 days or something by this point, hasn't had, like, just music playing over radios or anything like that, so it's a little strange that you can actually hear it in your room. It just sounds like music, and you can't really tell where it's coming from. And if you go to describe it to each other, it sounds like something different to both of you.
That's what I was going to say, what genre it was. And
it's whatever genre you want it to be, because it's all you hear, and it's not the same one that Chase hears. But yes, there's somebody knocking at the door.
On the ear of that music, it's a man talking really fast to some sort of really heavy bass.
Oh, that's strange. I heard a young, energetic woman singing about washing her teeth out with whiskey. So that's odd. Well, we should probably see who's at the door.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I pull out my pistol. I walk to the door.
Do you open the door?
What time of the day is it?
I want to say it's morning. It's maybe about, like, it's a reasonable morning. Like, this is the time that, you know how the ship attendants would come to your door and give you, like, a memo of what's going to happen for the day or tell you something? This seems like that usual thing. Like, one of the ship hands coming to the door at this time of day. So early morning, but, like, they've let you sleep in enough that it's fine.
Okay. I crack the door open.
As you crack the door open, what you see in the through the crack of the door is the steward, the same one that's been, like, with the, voice that you guys really enjoy. He's standing at the door, but the door is open only slightly a crack, so you can only really see, like, part of him.
You try and take one step in here, you're going to be knocking on heaven's door. At least that's the lyrics of the song that I hear right now. What do you need right now, son?
He doesn't seem to be talking or anything. You can't see him fully through the crack in the door, though.
He's not talking?
No.
I shut the door.
As you go to shut the door, he stretches a hand open to open it a little bit further, and you see he's seemingly back to normal and doesn't seem to realize that he was acting a little off a second ago. And he goes, I have a message from Mr. William Cartwright. And he pulls a letter out of his jacket. And he opens it up, and he reads it out, and he says, Dr. Song has awoke and would like to speak to you. And he puts it back into his jacket. With that, I bid you all adieu. And he bows, and he starts to leave.
Seems kind of odd that he would read somebody's letter out loud to him. What if Dr. Song had said something like, William, I would like to profess my undying love to you. That
hey, son, real quick, did he leave yet?
He's about to turn heel and leave. You can do something if you wanted to catch his attention or something.
I'll catch his attention. You're gonna leave without getting attention?
he stops and then swirls on his heels. Yes.
Dr. Song handed you this letter himself?
Yes. Well, his nurse handed it to me, but he requested a telegram to send to Mr. William Cartwright to let him know that he has regained consciousness from his injuries and would like to speak to him immediately.
Of course. You feeling all right, son?
Yes. He looks at you confused.
I hold out in between two fingers, kind of like this.
I can't wait for this.
Like 2 quarters.
Yes.
And look me in the eye, son. Look me in the eye. You deserve a well-earned tip. Can I do a spot hidden and look in his eyes, see if I see anything? Oh, psychology check. Can I do a psychology check?
Yeah,
to
sure.
see if
Roll
there's something
psychology.
off? Oh man, 2 and 2 zeros. So I got it. It's not a 200%.
Nothing
Right?
seems off about him. Like he was. It's almost like he snapped out of whatever was causing him to be weird at the door, but he seems fine now. He's like the same person you've met every single time, like bumbling kind of weird idiot. Like
I don't notice anything weird.
no, you don't notice anything weird, which is weird. Like because he was being weird a second ago, but he's definitely not right now, which is
Nothing buggy.
nothing buggy. No, he's got 6 million eyes. No.
I was looking
He's
for
not
like,
just
you know.
He's not just a skin suit being animated by a bunch of bugs.
God, that'd be horrifying.
Or like, what is it? The Mummy, the good one, the Brendan Fraser one, where it's like, do I see something?
No.
Yeah.
No, he's fine.
What? I'll actually.
All right,
He goes to reach for the quarters. Can I just?
and I go up, and I take his hand, and I place them in him. Now, if you hear anything suspicious, anything at all, I'm the man you want to tell first, right?
Right. He winks at you. You weren't one of the people that snuck into the basement. It was William and Reginald. So yeah, he actually has no reason to not like you. He doesn't like William and Reginald though, because they're to him they're hooligans that break rules. So.
Yeah, the sooner you let me know, the sooner I can keep these 2 in line, huh?
Ah, yes, and you let me know if these 2 get up to any no good.
Oh, if they get out of my line of sight again, I'll let you know. But I'll let you know. Just after last night, I gave him a paddle.
Oh, good
Well-earned
sir.
paddling. Absolutely. Isn't that right, Reggie?
I love a good paddling in the afternoon.
You weren't
Show him
supposed
that.
to like
Show
it.
him
It's
that
supposed
rump
to be
roast. Show him that
punishment.
bruised rump roast, sir.
Reginald rolls out of bed naked.
I will be about my day. And he starts to quickly turn heel and walk down. But that leaves you guys alone.
I'm just picturing, you know how like socks used to not have elastic, so you had to wear like the little garters on your feet to hold up your long socks.
Yeah.
I'm picturing that's all that Reginald is wearing.
There's not even any socks attached, just the sock garters.
Just the sock guards. Alrighty. So with that, it leaves you guys alone in the room.
Well, if Dr. Sung's awake, perhaps we should go see what's so urgent. I don't find it to be a coincidence that it was him that was attacked by whoever at the beginning of this whole trip. Maybe he has some insights into what's going on.
Lay, he sits up and he goes, I want to go with you guys
you were
too.
here.
Yeah, I've been here the whole time. I'm
God.
kind of a wallflower, I know. he's getting his
man,
clothes on for the day.
Could you just breathe a little more? A little heavier on the breathing? That'd be swell.
Maybe we could tie it like a small bell to Lay, just so that we're aware when he's around.
I do have a nasty habit of getting lost. But yes, I'd like to come with you guys because it sounds like Dr. Sung might be onto what we're onto.
All right, well, I think that we should waste no time. I'm going to grab the phlebotomizer and the flame bottomizer, and I'm going to put them in my bag.
Have you done anything to the flame bottomizer? Or is it still the like click lighter?
It's just
It's a very small. I mean, if I had time to enhance it, like into a flamethrower, could I make it a flamethrower?
Well, you have that skill, and that's why I was saying you can like
Oh,
do
yeah.
whatever you want with that stuff.
Yeah.
I'd like to use the ship's workshop.
Yeah. You pull out your suitcase and it's like a work. No, but yeah, no. That's up to you. But
Yeah, for sure. Seeing that we're fighting bugs, I would try to make it more aggressive. It's not just for lighting cigarettes anymore.
Ooh, now it can light cigarettes made out of roaches.
Yeah.
And people.
Is it
Let's see,
still?
I have-
So wait, now is it still tiny, or did you make it bigger, or is it tiny and it just shoots a huge flame now?
I'm picturing the angry cricket.
Yeah,
Like, just
like. All right, that's cool. So, with that said, let's. You guys wanted to go to Dr. Song, right?
Yes.
Yeah, if there's like a ship shop on the way, I'm trying to find a place to buy bug spray. I'm gonna convince somebody that there's bugs in our room, and I want a little can of bug spray.
We'll say that you just did that. Like, I'm sure there's a tiny grocery, like, little. If you need aspirins and stuff, you can go here to get them and stuff. So on the way, you divert while they keep going and stuff, and you go to the shop to get everything. Something you do notice on your way to the shop is that, like, a lot of people you pass, or not even out of the shop, to the medical room too, is that, like, a lot of people are just kind of acting extremely strangely. And the music is a little bit, like, kind of, you can feel it. Like, it never got dimmer or anything like that. You'd think that, like, oh, if I got farther away from wherever the source of it is, surely it would go louder or softer. But it's just stayed stagnant, and you see people, like, some people are just kind of, like standing still and going like this. There's other people that are just, like, leaning against the wall with their head. Everybody's acting just very strange. As you do that. But you buy the bug spray from the thing, so you could say that you have that. And then you arrive at the doctor's quarters. And as you enter the doctor's quarters, you find a few people with seasickness, someone who broke their leg, and a few minor other injuries being treated. You also see people that are, like, lining up almost out the door because they have headaches. People complaining about headaches and migraines. And then a nurse guides you to a separate back room where Dr. Song is being treated. He lies on a stretcher, awake. He looks bedridden, like he'll live, but he should stay here a little bit longer. Interestingly enough, another servant stands in the corner of this room, and it looks almost exactly like Wang Ma. Ah, William, I wanted to personally thank you for saving my life. If it weren't for you and your device, I would have been done for.
Well, it's no problem at all. I mean, I am a doctor. It's the oath. I'm glad to see that you're up and at 'em.
Yes. If I need anything, I have my servant here get it for me, and the nurses have been very kind.
Yes, as I eye his, like, nearly identical-looking servant.
Didn't we attend your funeral?
Funeral? Oh no.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I don't want to say y'all look the same or anything. Just you look awfully.
It's more
similar.
like because you can't see the servant's face. It's more like they're wearing the exact same clothing with the same stature and everything, which is what I mean by they look the same. So at your questioning of the servant, though, Dr. Song says something in Mandarin. So if anybody has a speech check for Mandarin, I think William does, but I don't know if anybody else does.
I do.
I can listen to it real good.
Yeah.
I can listen to it real good. Sounds a lot like Chinese.
You want me to roll language Mandarin?
Yeah, go for it. Let's get some use out of that skill.
I got a 27 out of 50.
Oh, okay, so you got it. So you understand what he's saying. He says, "It's okay, Lo Mai. I trust these people. You may show them." And with that, the servant, standing in the room, removes her hood. She stands proud, much like Wang Ma. Lo Mai's facial features don't seem entirely human. She has sharp teeth, a snout of sorts, and kind of ratty hair that grows in places they normally wouldn't on, like, other people. She's also bulkier in stature, and her arms droop lower past her knees. And he says, "My servants are of a race called the Cho-Cho. I believe they are not human, but share a common ancestor. They used to dwell underground in the Amazon rainforest until one day something forced them out. They called it Tsar. I found a small family of them and took them under my wing. They all stay in the steerage, but I usually have one or two come with me for personal assistance. I may look like I treat them like slaves, however, I consider them my family. I only put on a face in public to draw attention away from them." You said... You said you attended one of their funerals. You must mean... Did they put Wang Ma to rest?
They put him somewhere. I think off the ship, right?
Oh, that's unfortunate. I have...
Yes, he unfortunately expired after the altercation. I could not help him.
I'm assuming they didn't follow my notes on how Cho-Cho liked to be buried, did they?
I don't know if they even had them.
So, with Cho-Cho, I have funeral supplies on this ship, because I lost a few of my friends trying to obtain the book. And the Chocho, I wanted to bury the ones that I lost in San Francisco back in my homeland. And the Chocho require a very specific burial process when they die, something they've taught me. They wish to be buried in cases of salt so that Tsar, their vengeful deity, may leave them to rest when they pass on. And it's very unsettling if you're telling me that they did not do that, so I feel bad about that.
Well, it is salt water.
There you go.
There you go.
You know, you always got to look on the sunny side. That's what we always say.
That's
There's a bright
enough.
side. Alrighty.
Let's pray that's enough. Did you have any questions for me, William?
Well, I think that the most pressing issue upon the ship, I'm not sure if you'd be aware, but there seems to be, besides the assault on you and the murder of your steward, there has been insects, malevolent insects on the ship. There's a gangster that has gone missing and seems to be wandering around with one arm. It just, something is amiss. And now, and I'll kind of gesture at all the people lined up, there seems to be this bout of headaches and people hearing things.
Yes.
That's right. And there's all this damn music. Who's playing that damn music? I yell in the hall.
You hear it too. It's like a marimba, right?
Sounds more like a young rebellious teenager who's enjoying the time of her life to me.
It sounds like that mating ritual that we heard back in the Congo. Right, Reggie? You hear that? Kind of
I actually don't hear a damn thing. Carry on.
It's gone.
Well, it's awkward if I just kind of do that. No one else is hearing it. Well,
Must be the panther milk that's protecting our friend here.
suckled straight from the teat.
So you
Fortifies him.
mentioned bugs, and that kind of reminds me of something I believe I saw the night of my attack.
Oh.
I believe that the person who attacked me may have been a servant of Lang Fu. In the night of the attack, I think I saw Gutierrez de Almacan follow me back for a bit to my room, and once I made it inside, I had Wang Ma guard the door, and the coast seemed clear, so I checked on my book. I've always been a bit paranoid of my precious artifacts, and after a few hours, there was a knock on my door that awoke me from my sleep. I grabbed my lantern to see what it was, but Wang Ma had already answered the door, and a man, that Chad Peterson fellow from our dinner that we had, rushed my servant, and I remember there was something off about him. He seemed to move unnaturally. I'm not sure how much you believe of the supernatural in this group, but I'm not sure he was entirely human. He lunged at me, and I hit him with my lantern, and he seemed to hiss at me when the glass shattered and some fire caught on him, and then he slashed me across the chest, but I don't recall a weapon in his hands, and I think that was hitting him with the lantern was diversion enough to drive him off me, because he grabbed my book before finishing me off and running away. So, you mentioned bugs, though.
Yes, we were accosted in the bowels of the ship by thousands of malevolent cockroaches.
I wonder if
And
they're
then
related.
when we visited, what was the reclusive guy's apartment?
Gutierrez? Dalmacan?
Gutierrez's apartment, it was, or his cabin, it was decrepit and filled with insects as well.
That
They
is
seem
strange.
to be connected clearly.
It's gotta be something. I believe it has something to do with my book.
Where is the
Do you have that book with you? Like
No,
on hand?
He stole it from me. That book, it is titled The Tome of the Red Jade, and in it is China's secret history. It is one of a kind. William, when I told you that the nightmare opium was not of this earth, I must admit that I know more than I let on. You see,
Oh?
I am one of the few surviving members of an order of monks. Our goal is to study and to enrich ourselves with knowledge, so I chose botany as my passion. However, our order of monks had another purpose, and we were formed to keep the demons out of China. We have a storied history of fighting evils, and one such evil that has remained consistent is the elusive Lang Fu, the man responsible for the Lang opium. And Lang opium is not of this earth as far as I've been able to tell. It comes from a completely different reality entirely. There are chemical compounds that are consistent in our known universe, and Lang opium possesses none of them. It is an alien by every definition of the word, but the Tome of the Red Jade is a book that will expose Lang Fu and explain Nightmare Opium, and possibly give an answer as to how to stop both, and for once and for all. I discovered its existence in Europe. A man named Edward Chandler was in possession of it. Chandler is one of Lang Fu's generals, and he happened to be bringing the book with him to San Francisco. And I stole the book, and that's where some of my servants died in the process. But unfortunately, the book is written in Wu Chinese, so I was bringing it back with me to have it studied by one of the other orders of our monk sect that still survives, who chose languages as his passion. So I wasn't able to translate any of it, but if we can get that book back, I think it would be vital in this investigation.
Well, you said this creature struck you, caused the wound without a weapon?
As far as I can tell, I didn't see a blade in his hand or anything.
Can we see your wound?
I mean, yeah, it's healed after 4 days and stuff. I mean, it's not completely healed, but it's not like it's fresh or anything. It looks like a couple of slash marks here that have been they have stitches in them still from the phlebotomizer, and he has a slasher on his arm too.
Is it clean like the cut, like a razor, or is it a tear?
Well, now it looks cleaner because it's been stitched and cleaned and slightly healed for a couple of days, but there's the scarring looks like it could be a bit jagged and stuff like that. But yeah, he's got his chest open.
Doesn't seem to indicate a blade.
Didn't feel like one either.
Well, before I got on the ship, I cared little for the supernatural, but I don't think I can explain the things that I've seen.
Could I take a look at the wound using Natural World to see if any other creature or beast I've encountered might be similar to that kind of wound?
Sure.
That's 15, so that makes it. Natural was 60.
It definitely doesn't seem like any beast you've seen. It's got a strange sort of patterning to it. That makes it seem not like a blade, but also not just a beast going like that.
Okay, claw mark. Doesn't look like a claw mark.
Yeah, it just looks very strange, is all it is.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to think. Perhaps now that we know that Gutierre was somehow involved, along with I don't know, the mobster, whose name I eludes me.
Bunny Bates.
Bunny Bates.
Bunny Bates. Perhaps we can look and see if they had any, we've searched their rooms, but perhaps they had cargo containers or something in storage. If I was a set of insects, I would try to stay away from the light. Maybe that's a place to look.
Do you think the insects are under their command or something?
Or maybe they are under the insects' commands, who knows?
Oh my. I implore you, I'm not sure if I'm cut for taking on Lang Fu in my old age as much as I wanted to, after the whole ordeal with Edward Chandler getting the book and this, barely living after one thing attacked me. I hate to do this to you, but I wonder, can I entrust you, your group, to potentially take up my stead?
Oh, we'll kill him. We'll do it.
We'll do it. Oh yeah.
Nothing quite as exhilarating as a manhunt.
The absolute euphoria you feel on a manhunt. Nothing like it.
Thank you so
Killed
much.
me.
It's going off.
The absolute euphoria.
I'll help any way I can. But for now, I think the only thing that can truly help is finding that book and getting it translated. But any resources I can provide to you, I will try. As soon as we get off this damn boat.
Well, I think that we're going to have to survive the trip. How far out are we from... I'll look at my compatriots. How far are we from China?
4 days.
Well, we've taken the long route. Underneath the southern tip of Africa, coming back up. Been a long trip.
This was the scenic cruise. It said it very clearly on the pamphlet when you signed up.
Yes, of course. Dr. Song, if I may, one thing you could help with immensely, and now always keep an ear out, anything you may hear, but also, well, we could use a little money. To grease the palms, around here to get information. You did offer your resources after all.
I unfortunately have not much on me, on my person, but if you were to go to my room, there's a few things I can give you. Yes, you can take as much money as you need. Don't worry about that. But, William, if you would like the notes that I have on laying opium, now that I think you're a bit more ready for them now. I can give you those notes, as well as a few notes I've taken about the botany that you can use possibly to your advantage with your strange gadgets.
It would be much appreciated. Anything that can help us overcome these evils.
Yes. And with that, he starts to kind of...
I'll take whatever money you have now. In case, on the way to your room, we encounter any sort of opportunities.
He starts to get a little faint, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I need to rest some more." But yes, he gives you he waves to Lo Mai, and Lo Mai produces a key out of her sleeve, and she hands it to you, and she's like, "You can use this to get into my room. I hope whatever you find in there will help you." And he starts to kind of rest back against his bed, and a nurse comes in and says, "I think it's time. He must rest some more." So if...
No problem. As he rests back, I'll just help myself, and I go to his jacket.
His jacket doesn't have anything in it. He got attacked in his pajamas. Yeah, so they just rushed him here in his pajamas, so he doesn't have anything on him.
Care.
You steal his slippers. All right. With that, you are outside of the doctor's office because the nurses rushed you out.
As we're leaving, I pull Reggie aside. Hey, Reggie.
Yes?
You remember when we were in the jungles of Thailand and you were training in Muay Thai to fight a Bengal tiger? You remember that?
Yes, that tiger. I mean, he didn't use the Muay Thai, but like I thought he might. But I bested him.
Yes, you remember that?
Claw marks right on his side.
Yes, of course. You remember the ritual of cleansing you did in that cave with the fire?
Oh, I lit the cave on fire. Was that a ritual?
Yes. I mean, you got it wrong. You were supposed to use the fire on you, but anyway. On the cave, on the walls, I did see a strange writing, and our tour guide did tell us. She translated, "They feared a man that only spoke in rhyme." Do you think it could be this Lang Fu character?
Oh, it's
some weird deep lore you just made up.
I've killed one rhyming man in my life already. I'll put another one in the ground like that.
Why is it in a cave in Thailand? This is some completely different rhyming sorcerer.
I literally had no plan when I pulled him aside about how I was going to get there.
Just gotta keep going with it.
I'm going to mention he always speaks in rhyme. I made it all up as I was saying it. Great.
That's wonderful.
I don't even think that panthers are native to Thailand.
So,
I just wanted to check. Let's go.